What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to stream number 22. Can you believe it? This is my 22nd. It's actually like my 25th because I had 3 streams in one night when the stream kept crashing. But this is officially stream 22. We're on the road to 100, which is bloody awesome. I have a belief that when I get to stream 100, I will know what I'm doing. I used the same principle with YouTube videos and it worked out pretty well. Just things I want to work on to be able to speak without saying and so, and have people hear. That's the real goal, is to get these streams interesting enough to where people want to come hang out with me. So I didn't test the audio before the stream started, but I can hear it and it sounds like it's working. It was one of those nights, and I blame ADHD. Time just doesn't move the same for me. It's just like I wake up in the morning, get here, do what I need to do, and then panic that it's stream time, and I don't know where that middle section of day goes. Tonight we're actually welding this R33 catch can, but before I get into it, I just want to finish off the tubes and fittings on these R34 coolant overflows. They are. I'll get you in this looking camera and tune you in here. Are you zoomed out? Yes. So basically, we welded the fittings, the inlet caps on. They're just a 1-inch screw cap that just have a lid with an O-ring seal inside there. And down here I have the inlet and outlet, and the inlet is a -6. So these, I've explained these in a previous video, but for those watching today, these are the old wiper windscreen washer bottles from the old version. So it's version 1 of the R34 catch can. This needed to be modified, so this whole nubby section off the back here needed to be removed because Plasma Man changed their design and required the shifting of the fuse box to fit their manifolds. So this used to sit up really beautifully between the guard and the fuse box, really just to create a little bit of extra volume. To create a little bit of extra volume for the wiper motor. So I've got these are the last 4 right here that are left over from the laser cutting, and instead of throwing them away, they actually worked really nicely as an overflow bottle, but in the opposite side of the engine bay. So they still fit the profile of the tub or the wheel arch, and I just bracket them differently to fit. So the reason I say all that is because we're dealing with these holes. So these holes are sized up to fit the grommets to take the wiper washer motors. So I need to fill those in. In the past, I've just been running a plate over the top, but tonight I've just machined on my CNC router some little aluminium washers, and I'm going to try welding those on with the -6 fittings. And this is the outlet tube, which now I've just stuck it somewhere it shouldn't be. This runs from down here all the way up to the very top. Let's see if I can get an angle for you there somewhere. I struggle with this inverted twisting. You can see the tube inside there. There he is. It's really hard for me to direct it. So the overflow runs out through the bottom, but it is all the way at the very top of the tank. One Down Fabrication, welcome to the stream, mate. Do I bend up all my own stuff? I do literally everything in-house. So behind me here, I have a half sheet, so a 1200 by 1200 CNC router, which these parts specifically are laser cut, but I do router cut all my own parts, fold, weld, I do all the design, literally everything. The only thing that I send out for now is powder coat, but I did used to do that in-house as well, but I just found that I couldn't do everything, and powder coat is just messy and not something that I want in my shop. Yeah, nothing fancy when it comes to folding. I do have, I don't know if it's up on here, a short up on here, or if you jump over to the AT Performance Instagram, there's a short on there. I just have a little folder, and I 3D print jigs to fold up all my parts. Real simple, good way to do it. So we're going to start by welding in this washer, which I've already put around this tube here. And then we're going to offset this tube about 1/2 inch and then weld that on. I don't have any preset settings. Sorry, I just saw my mic dangling down. Any preset settings for this weld, because this is the first time I'm doing it in this style. So let's jump into a settings screen, and I'm just going to use setting number 1 here, which is -28 on the AC balance. It's a square wave setting at 120 Hertz, and it is 105 max amperage on the foot pedal. We'll just jump into this section here, and I'm also going to turn on the rotary table, and I'll get back here for that. So I do have my welding positioner built into my welding table. So I just have this little keyway that I've made that screws into it. This is just a Lazy Susan bearing on the table, and I have a relief cut in this plate to accept that key. And we can just flick him on, and I have the foot pedal just hanging by a magnet. I don't have the foot cam working, so you don't get to see that tonight. I didn't actually have any intention of doing these welds, but I didn't get them done today, so we're going to do them tonight. So I'll just pop him on there and see if I can get a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, I'm still struggling with this new chair, but we are figuring it out. All right. So we have a nice bold tungsten. Let me focus you in there. So this is a 2.4 mil. This is a 2% lanthanated tungsten. It's bold. It's still nice and clean from last night. So I'm not going to swap out to a fresh one straight up. And I'm going to be using a 1.6 mil 53-56 filler. And I'm just going to clean off my bench. All this stuff I should have done before I start streaming. And we'll just bring the prop down here. See if we can get nice and comfortable. I'm just worried about this long snout hitting on the prop. So we're going to weld around here. And I'll just pop your welding helmet on. And we'll get into a welding screen.
I started that on the worst angle possible and had a real hard time lighting up, but I should have taken the time to reposition, but I did not. But we went around okay. I'll zoom you in there. So you can see I got this big lump here as I tried to find my angle there. But we got him on okay. I think I should actually do these on a pulse setting. Since they are just really thin little washers, they're just 2mm thick aluminium. So we'll jump over to the settings screen and we'll jump down to setting number 3, which I don't remember off the top of my head. I just know it's the one that I use for cooler welding. So 1 second on time, 55% on time at a 1 second pulse, and -28 I run. I'm going to just up that frequency to 115, so anything over 110 doesn't interfere with the cameras and whatnot. We're at 110 amps. We'll see how that goes. Should be fine on this setting, and we'll try the next one here. All right, jump in this looking screen. We'll zoom you guys in here, and I'll pop your welding helmet on. And we'll jump into the welding screen. Alright, the results were about the same, whether it was pulsed or not. Still struggle with that angle. I really think lifting the whole workpiece up would solve that problem, but we've only got 4 to do. So I think we'll just power through. This one, the weight of the pipe inside there just wants to fight me a little bit, so I'm just going to use my third hand there. And you're going to miss out on seeing this weld, but
I'll zoom out and you'll see what you get to. And I'm just going to tack it and then take that prop off. I have a new track on the welding screen tonight. It's a attributed track, so the details of it are in the description, but sounds a bit more funky, so I run with it tonight. Same deal there. It was, I don't know if it's better or worse using a pulse. It doesn't really give me that much more control. It was more an angle problem than a welder setting problem. Same story with this one. I'm just going to pop the third hand on it here to get a tack, and I will go back to a straight current setting just to rule that out or make me feel better. And I got right down to 3/4 of an inch on that filler wire. Almost forgot to put you in a welding screen. Jump over here, we'll put your welding helmet on, and we'll jump into screen 2. Yeah, so really just an angle problem, not so much a settings problem. It is sort of same on that. G'day Chris, how are you tonight? It's good to see you and welcome to the stream. This one I don't quite know what to do. It is an experiment at this point. Let's grab some chill blocks. We'll stop that spinning. I think this might be a bit tricky. Seeing if I can get to a point where this is centralized over the center point of my positioner. And you guys can't see anything. Yeah, I'm going awesome tonight, Chris. I'm glad to be here. It seems to be a recurring theme of absolute chaos in a day, and then it's stream time. And I bloody love it, actually. I really want to clean up the edge on this. I really should have run them through the linisher, but I'll just grab a file, hopefully. I just like whirlwind, like Tassie Devil all day, every day. And everything is just absolute chaos all the time. But I actually don't know any other way to operate, so this is just how it is over at AT Performance. So the plan here is to pop on this 2mm aluminium washer that I cut today and pop a -6 fitting on. Now these -6 fittings are made by Velocity Engineering here in Brisbane. They have a really small flange on them, which I love, but when you're trying to fill a big hole, they have no recess on the bottom and a really small flange. Compared to, I've got these -4 fittings from China, which would be ideal really. If I got some Chinese fittings, it would just be a straight weld-on job for these. If I can get into these with gloves on. So China just use 25mm, this is -4, but 25mm on all their smaller fittings. So if I went that route, I'd just be able to weld these straight on. But since these 4 are the last 4 in this design, I really just want to make it happen. And if it's not successful, I won't continue with the other 3. But if it is, so basically I'm just using that washer as a bridge and going to be welding from the tank itself to the fitting. And really that washer there is just to keep everything where it should be. Just going to grab some 2.4mm filler. I've moved my little welding station around and my filler rods are about an extra 6 inches away, and my short little arms can't reach that. So let's jump over to the welder settings and we'll just buzz down to setting number 4. Which is a pulse setting. It is 120 Hertz on a square wave, -28 on the AC balance. It is a 1 second pulse time with a 60% on time, and this is 150 amps max on the foot pedal, which while we're pulsing, I don't think we'll go much more than 80. So I'm going to try with a tack, and this will sort of set the tone for if this is feasible or not. Got that camera right in my face, which is awesome. So you guys can see what's going on here. I'll put your welding helmet on and stick you in a welding screen. So we may as well stop here and have a chat about what's going on. Which hopefully you can see. So you can see that I've just lipped the body of the tank and got a tack on that fitting down to that tank. So really I'm just bridging that washer. I've done the same on both sides. That washer didn't disappear, so that's a good sign. I should be able to pull, using that 2.4mm filler, I should be able to pull enough heat out of this weld as I travel around. So I'm confident to proceed. Fingers crossed, and let's do it. So my incredibly precarious balancing method was not up to the task, which sucks a little bit, but it's my own fault. I did really just want to balance it here because I'm only doing 4 of them. I definitely don't want to build a jig or anything. So my real issue is that it's too long for the table. I'll just put a little weight behind that one, and now we'll cross our fingers for a different reason. And let's try again. Zoom you guys in. We are on a bit of a derpy angle now, but these are the cards that we're dealt right now. Stick your welding helmet on. And let's try again. Alright, that was fairly successful, which I'm happy about. No real issues to report. All good. I'm going to put this aside because I am feeling incredibly claustrophobic. And I'm enjoying that new audio track on the welding screen, even if nobody else does. So we'll pop this one in and see if we can line it up a little bit better. No matter what, going to be dealing with a slippery part. I'm just going to file off these rough edges. I did actually clean off the tabs on the belt sander, but I only did it from one side, the film side. Normally I buzz around both sides, but I honestly thought that this was just going to be a spacer, but I should know better, really. So that one is in position, you guys. Oh god, that's slipping and sliding already. It's not working for me tonight. Might be overcomplicating it, in fact. We do that and pop that in there, but we need to be over here. Okay, we run into the same problem. I think we just might have to do the reposition dance. So that's all in position there. You guys are out of focus. There you are. We'll put your welding helmet on and we'll dive into this screen. Wow, that's all over the place. That's if the camera is pointing at center, that fitting one is wandering around way too much. But we proved concept. I'm happy with that. Time is marching on, so we'll get stuck into the R33 catch can. The whole point that we're here tonight, and I'll finish these off either on the next stream or tomorrow at some point. If I didn't do that tonight, that would have bothered me all night, so I'm glad it's done. But really, I'm just feeling claustrophobic on this bench tonight. So just disconnect that little cam. switch off the positioner and we're back in manual mode. This R33 tank. Let's zoom you guys out. Just clean him down with some isopropyl. These fingerprints are really ingrained in these panels. I think all of these panels except for the internal baffles and the filter basket there are laser cut. All the internal panels have been cut on the CNC. Just like holding that positioner pedal down the whole time. Can relax now. I didn't realise I could relax. So we're on setting 4, pulse setting. I like this setting for welding in the filter baskets. Last night I did it with a bold tungsten, which we still have tonight. Got great results, so we're going to try that again. I'm going to put 3 additional tacks on around the outside edge so we avoid warping that top plate. This is a atmospheric venting tank, so it doesn't have a rubber gasket sealing this plate off, so we can really deal with a little bit of warping, but I'd prefer aesthetically for it to not have that. Just pop your welding helmet on there. Let's jump in a welding screen. Yeah, bald tungsten seems to be my new... Oh, you guys couldn't see half of that, I apologise. My new favourite for welding in these filter baskets. I'm always a little bit shaky on them. I don't know, they're never as nice as the outside corner joints, even though they're still technically an outside corner joint. But yeah, bald tungsten works well. Had a couple of big gaps in this one. Through this side here, there was a gap, but managed to fill it okay. I did have to fill a hell of a lot of rod in though to close up the gap as she opened up, but yeah, that turned out really nicely. I'm going to keep that pulse setting and move on to this center seam at the bottom. I'm just going to close up the two endpoints here and here, and then buzz. I'll try and keep it flat, but it will be in this direction. I've found is a bit nicer. So just get you in focus there. Put your welding helmet on. Put your welding helmet on there. Now let's jump in screen 2. Alright, not too bad of a weld. Did open out there where that... Oh god. If I take your welding helmet off, you still can't see because the camera froze. Yes, it comes good. Just where that seam comes down, there's always an open section there. I managed to seal it off nicely and actually got a really nice weld across there. Now, I'm going to weld this curved section. And we have a bit of a gap up here, but I'm just going to tap closed with the brass block. And I use brass because it doesn't contaminate the weld at all. So need to just cap off these ends, these corners. Can I zoom you out? Yes, I can. So here and here, I just need to cap those off. So here and then here, you guys will be able to see both of those. Stick your welding helmet on there and jump in here. And we'll get rid of this pulse setting. Go back to our straight current, 120 Hertz, -28 on the AC balance, square wave, and this one is 105 max amps. I was just going to suggest changing the waveform tonight, but we've already done enough experimenting. I'll pop your welding helmet on. Actually, make sure you can see what's going on here. So ordinarily I switch to a curved prop, but the other night I didn't, and I'm going to try it again tonight. So we're going to come down here, we're going to come here and then reposition for this upward curve. You guys can see that. I'll put your welding helmet on and let's dive in. Okay, I thought that camera froze for a minute there. And the big reveal. We got a bloody nice weld. So that part that I tapped down opened back up again, and I probably should have stopped to tap it back down again, but I did not. And all I did was sort of chase the crescent around, and turned out bloody good. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know, I don't think. So now we want to do the top side of this tank. Feels really warm tonight. It's actually quite pleasant in Brisbane tonight, but it does feel really hot in the shop. I think I didn't actually leave the shop today, and I didn't open any doors, so I'm probably suffering now for that. But such is life, eh? So when you reflect back on things, you hindsight and all that. Thank you, Chris. I think it came out pretty nice as well. Making a habit of it at the moment, which is awesome. I think it's just because I've got over my nerves of having the cameras rolling live. Can slow down and calm down and produce the work that I'm used to. Those first couple of streams I was really disappointed with the quality of the welds, but I was really nervous, I think was probably the honest way to put it. Just going to lock that off with the third hand. We're going to roll around this curve here. Always get a couple of tricky spots here and here with the baffles on the inside acting as a heat soak. But there is quite a bit of warmth in the part right now and the chill block is doing its job. But let's jump in here and get this curve done. Okie dokie, that is an impressive looking weld. And as I spin it around, it doesn't look nearly as impressive on camera as it does with my own eyeballs. Trust me, it looks damn good, which is fantastic. We're just going to keep on keeping on, and we'll try and get you in focus. So touch up this little bit and then I'll reposition and bring you back around for the front. Okay, now the tricky part, the front of the tank, where we've got these nice big holes here. We've got these two uprights of the baffle plate, which add an interesting dynamic to draw the heat out as I pass by. But everything feels like a great temperature for attempting this weld, so the only thing I need to do is get a longer filler rod and we'll dive in. Let's zoom in. We're very much in crotch cam territory, I apologise. Put your welding helmet on and dive in. Okay, everything went to plan, which is awesome. You can see here so right there is where the baffle is. You can see the little ripple in the front there where it gets welded along the front face, and then it comes up right to there. It just wicked out all the heat as soon as I started dabbing across there. And then immediately after that, met with the hole. So I go from a really cold spot to a really hot spot, but really that is a great looking weld considering the circumstances. And then right here, when I weld the fitting on, that'll lap onto that weld anyway, so it will actually hide all of that, but certainly not mad about the outcome of that weld. So I'm going to swap out this chill block for the big one, only because that's the one sitting there. How can I get you guys to see this? I can't. Let's zoom out. Let's move over there. Focus up. Stick the welding helmet on. Goes a long way to put the welding helmet on. And we're going across here. Everything looks good. Let's dive in. did everything freeze? No, we're still good. That felt like a really long weld, but it came up great. So same deal there. Can we see it on the camera? Where are we? Up here. So just as I came off the back of the baffle, so the baffling in this tank ends through this section here, which sort of translates to where the heat stops, and then, or it stops wicking the heat out, and the weld sunk a little bit. It took me a minute to readjust, but really nitpicking on both of those two critiques on the welds, but it came up great. Happy with that. Next step is to flip and do the two vertical welds, so across the top and across the bottom. Get you in focus, pop your welding helmet on, and let's jump into screen 2. Couldn't find the looking screen then. I'm thinking about getting a Elgato Stream Deck, which would just allow me to push buttons to change these screens instead of trying to click on them. I don't know if it's a good investment or not, or a worthwhile investment at this point of my streaming career. But I think about it, like how awkward it is with the mouse and gloves and all that stuff. But also, it's just an excuse to buy more crap. It's really what it is. So I'm going to do, normally I leave this to the end, and it's not by design, it's by forgetfulness, which is this final rear seam. Focus you up there. I might zoom you in actually and focus you up. So I'm just going to buzz up this one while I'm doing the verts, and I'll just save that last little spin when the part is really hot, I think. I have this short little piece of tungsten. I'm about 7 inches long. I'm going to try and make it work. I will pop your welding helmet on and jump in a welding screen. was the perfect amount of filler wire, and the camera has frozen. I think the camera has frozen. Yes, it has. So we got, where are you? Here you are. We got a beautiful little weld across the bottom there. Everything has come up excellent so far. So it's just the going around the straight sections on the bottom now. Let's flick up this side. Try and level him out a little bit. I was thinking, let's jump into the settings screen. Is there a version of this screen where you can see my foot pedal as well? Which, no, because the camera is frozen. Barely. This camera freaks out every time I reset it. Might be fighting a losing battle here, but I was just thinking it might be, oh gosh, might be semi-interesting to see the pedal in relationship to the amps on the screen. But let me grab this light and do that, and we'll jump into this camera, and I'll just change the brightness here, which I had set before, but it resets when I reset the camera. No, it doesn't like that at all. We'll try that, see how it goes. It'll probably freeze, but we did an experiment and that's cool. So in this screen, cool, okay. Probably a complete waste of time, but you never know if you never do it. So just like set you all up and hadn't even positioned the workpiece. I'm going to weld just this back plate here. You're pretty well in focus. We'll chuck your welding helmet on. And I keep going the long way tonight. And let's try that welding foot situation. Didn't freeze, I'm shocked. Did this one freeze? No. it all worked. I'm amazed. Let's zoom out on this one. We get some nice contrasting light with that side lamp there. We're going to head across in this direction. I do need a little bit of a chill block on there, which I'll just use the brass block. I don't know if we're going to get a good angle here, but you know I'm going to just give it a go. So let's put your welding helmet on and try that screen again. I'm so shocked that that little welding camera kept on keeping on. I've been looking, I've got my phone vertical, so the screen is literally 2 inches across. Hopefully that was something a little bit more interesting. But we did it! We welded an entire catch can, plus frigged around with some fittings that we probably shouldn't have done tonight. So just here you can see that etch line there, and there's actually a little bit, you can see it a bit more at the top there. The tack there was a lot wider than it should have been. So I just had to double step over it, which you can see those dabs are a bit closer together, just to cover up that tack. But the underside of this catch can looks great, the top side looks great. We got a really good finish on this entire weld, which is bloody brilliant. It is a hot boy right now, but it's done. Awesome. So it all turned out really nicely. So a couple of little hiccups. The major hiccup that I've got is with this, which I don't have turned on because it balks everything, is that I bought this Microsoft HD webcam to try and replace this shitty one that I've got on the welder here. And it's been nothing but trouble. So we're down to a 3 camera angle setup, and I think I'm going to commit to a 3 camera angle setup and just try and plan a bit better on what to do in the future. I think 4 cameras was a bit ambitious this early on. So that's my stream backend update. Really happy with how the stream is going. I am starting to feel really comfortable with the whole navigating the welding and operating the stream and all that stuff. It is quite a lot going on all at once, but I'm starting to get comfortable with it. So now I'm thinking, what's next for the stream? So this is my question to you all, to everybody watching now, and to everybody who watches the VOD after it goes live. I don't really come into these with an agenda other than to weld a catch can. The challenge has been to keep a stream live for 1 or 2 hours, and now that we're doing that successfully and we're doing it repeatably, what's next? How do I grow this? Is my actual question. Do we play around with settings and test out the machine, or have little lessons on how to feed filler wire? I don't quite know how to progress, I guess, from here, other than just letting it naturally do its thing. The interaction with you guys is great, and that adds a wonderful dynamic rather than me just sitting here talking to myself. But yeah, I'm curious on where to go from here and how to market to an audience from here. Should this be educational? Is this just hanging out with Adam while he welds couch cans? That is my very long-winded question at the end of the stream on where do we go from here. But yeah, super happy with how everything's turning out and what's going on. Chris and Ben in the chat right now. Thank you guys for being here at the end of the stream. That's bloody awesome. I really appreciate it. You have no idea what it means to me that you rock up, hang out, and interact with me. It's really wonderful. To everybody who popped in and out as the night went on, thank you so much for spending a bit of your night with me. And we had One Down Fabrication here at the start as well, which was awesome too. But yeah, everyone who popped in and spent time with me, you guys rock as well. Really want to know how to progress this. But right now I'm at a point where I need subscribers. I need you guys to subscribe. Without 1,000 subscribers, YouTube has blocked a whole bunch of features to me. So really, I need that help. Is a call to action for you. Everyone who watches the VOD, let me know what you think. Should this be educational? Is this just entertainment? I am never going to be a boisterous character. This is just me. I can't take that angle. Welding and fab videos, yeah, I definitely want to move this stream around the shop. But a lot of the stuff is noisy, so I'm really, not that the welder's not noisy, but we've sort of got around that with some music. But I do have a couple of ideas for laser and then some folding and stuff, so we'll get onto those in the future. Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate the suggestions. And that's it. We're done. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Have an awesome night, and I am going to be here tomorrow.